characters, incidents, names, and situations used in this story are fictitious. The resemblance to any person living or dead is purely coincidental. The following video contains some horror elements and suitable for a mature audience, 16 plus. This channel and video is not for kids.
Hello friends, I am Aryan and welcome to our channel Midnight Horror Stories, where you get to hear true and scary ghost stories. In our channel, you will get to hear true and scary stories every Tuesday and Saturday. But before starting the story, all the friends who have come to this channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel, and if you like the story, then definitely introduce yourself in the comment section. Then, let's do not take much time and start our story quickly.
Today's story is about a girl from UP whose name is Priya. So let's now hear this story from Priya's point of view. Hello friends, my name is Priya and I am from UP. Today I am going to tell you about such a scary incident after listening to which all of you are parents, that is, those who have children. They will become so cautious after listening to this story that the mistake that was made by my parents, you will probably never repeat that mistake in your life. Because by the time you reach the end of this story, you will understand very well that sometimes things are not as settled as you understand them. Because people in this world have become so selfish that they can do anything to anyone to find their meaning. And nowadays, people who say that this ghost is nothing, a witch and a spirit, after listening to today's story, they will understand that when all these things start happening to ourselves, then our thinking remains on the carpet. Actually, this was about 7 years ago. 7 years ago, my sister Suhana and I were planning to go on a trip with our family members after giving our 10th board exam. But before we could make a trip to our family, even before that, something happens due to which we have to cancel our trip. Actually, what happened was that when all of us were sitting in one place and talking about where we should go for a walk during the summer holidays this time, suddenly Papa's phone rings. And as soon as the ring rings, Papa picked up the phone and listened to whoever was in front of him for about 5 to 7 seconds. And then when he returned after 4 to 5 minutes, he told us in a very silent voice as soon as he came there that, "Son, we will have to cancel this trip and this time we are not going to go anywhere." Now as soon as he said this, the faces of both our sisters were completely down. Because both of us were so excited to go somewhere this time that we both had a lot of thinking about that trip. But then my mom asks my dad, "What happened? Why are you suddenly cancelling the idea of going on a trip in this way?" So when mom asks this, Papa tells us that our aunt has slipped and fallen down the stairs this morning, because of which one of his legs has been completely fractured. Now when we heard this, we were all very shocked, because our aunt was the closest to us in our family, because both dad and aunt were single siblings. That is, apart from those aunts, Papa had neither any other sister nor any brother. In such a situation, from the beginning, Buaji was a little more attached to our house. But after hearing this, Mom and Dad had left to meet them at the same time. But to tell the truth, after his departure, we were more sad about the cancellation of our trip than the broken leg of Buaji. But then we thought, let's never see it again. Now here you must be finding this thing very normal, or you may be wondering why I am telling you such normal things instead of telling you a horror story. But it is very important to tell you about these things because we do not even know when such things gradually dominate our minds and something similar can happen to you somewhere. So in such a situation, it is very important for you to know these things, to notice that thing and to catch what is happening to you slowly from the beginning. Because that day, when my parents returned home after meeting Buaji, as soon as I came home, my father said a thing to both of us sisters, and as soon as we heard that, neither of us was ready for that thing. Actually, Papa told us that one of you sisters will have to stay at Buaji's house to take care of him. Until his leg heals, you should do the household chores. Now as soon as Papa said this, both of us sisters refused him. Because on top of that, our trip had been cancelled and now both of us did not want to spend the whole summer vacation separately from each other. For this reason, we had told Papa that neither of us was going to his house. But then Papa told us that Buaji owes him a lot and he has called me for something for the first time in his life, so just to keep my point, either of you should go to stay at his house till your summer vacation is going on. Now when Papa said this to both of us in a very disappointed voice, then Suhana Didi says that okay, I go to Buaji's house to take care of him. Now let me tell you that my sister Suhana was only 40 minutes older than me. That is to say, we two sisters were born twins. But my mom used to tell me since childhood that she was older than you. That's why you call her Didi. That's why when Suhana Didi said this, then the packing that we had prepared to go on a trip, in the same packing that was Suhana Didi's luggage, we went to Bua's house with Papa that evening. But as soon as Papa and I went to Suhana Didi's house, seeing Buaji's condition, I did not feel that her leg was fractured or that she had some minor injury. Because if there was a fracture, then it is obvious that the plaster is done on top of the leg. Or there would have been a bandage, but the aunt was just lying on top of the bed. However, when I asked him about it, he told me that I did not get the plaster done deliberately. There is a slight fracture, it will recover on its own after 10 to 15 days of rest. Now that he said this, I didn't pay much attention to that thing, and both of us, that is my father and I, left Suhana Didi at Bua's house on the same day and came back to our house. However, from that evening onwards, both of us sisters started talking on the phone for a long time, because now I didn't have a younger brother or sister to spend time with me at home. In such a situation, after watching TV all day, when I used to get bored with everything in the evening, then I used to call Suhana Didi. However, in the beginning, both of us sisters used to talk over video calls. But then slowly, I don't know why, but Suhana Didi started refusing me for a video call. For 10-15 days, they talked on video calls in a decent manner. But then after that, he slowly did not know what had happened. Whenever I used to ask her to make a video call, she used to tell me about this, and even while talking on the call, she did not talk like before. And when I asked her about this thing, she said that there is a lot of work at Bua's house here, due to which she used to get so tired, they don't even feel like talking to anyone. Now when I heard this from him, at first I thought that maybe he gets tired due to doing the whole housework alone, but now he had stopped picking up my phone. Along with this, she started talking very little to her mom. But when we used to talk to Bua on the phone, Bua used to ask Bua about Suhana Didi. She used to tell us that she is absolutely fine. But there was one thing that bothered me, that even Bua never made us talk to Suhana Didi while talking on the phone. Whenever we asked her to talk to her, she would always make some excuse. Sometimes she used to say that Suhana is doing some work in the kitchen. When she is free, she will call herself. Or sometimes she would tell us that she is in the bathroom and taking a bath. In such a situation, when I could not talk to Suhana Didi for almost a month, I was very upset. Because at that time, I was going through my mind that what happened that she is not talking to me at all. Because a sister who did not live without talking to her sister for a single day, now when he does not talk to him for a month, then this thing seems strange to the front. That is why one day I told my father that we go to Bua's house to meet Suhana Didi. So when I said this, Papa also said yes to this, because last night Mummy was telling him that you guys should be at Bua's house once, because since she has a fracture in her leg, we have not been able to go to her house, and for a long time we could not talk to Suhana properly. In such a situation, you should go there and see the condition of the aunt and also see how Suhana is. So now when I said the same thing to Papa the other day, Papa says to me that, oh yes, while having dinner last night, your mother was also asking me to go there. So you do this, that you get ready in an hour and a half, till then I will finish some work in the market. Now I was very happy when Papa said this, because after a long time I was going to meet my sister. That is why I quickly start making a few things of their choice. Because I knew very well that at Bua's house, she would not be able to get time just by doing housework. So in such a situation, where would she be able to make and eat her favorite things? So when Mom and I were making a few things in the kitchen, suddenly Mummy's phone rang. And as soon as the phone rang, Mom was busy with some work. That is why she says to me, "Arey Priya, just look whose phone is this." So when my mom says this, I remove her phone from the charge on the fridge. And after that, as soon as I picked up the phone and put it to my ear, instead of Papa's voice, there was another man's voice coming from the front. And he was saying in a very hurried voice that this bhai has met with an accident, you get here quickly. But when the man was saying this, along with him the sound of a lot of noise in the background was also coming from the back. So now as soon as I heard this, I was absolutely terrified. But as soon as Mom sees those nervous expressions on my face, she immediately comes to me. and as soon as she took the phone from my hand and put it above her ear, she probably heard the same thing in the man's voice that I had heard. Because after taking the phone from me, as soon as mom put the phone above her ear, after about 4 to 5 seconds, the phone fell down from her hand. At the same time, she started feeling dizzy. But then somehow I took care of my mom, and then in a short time, both of us left our house in a hurry to the place where Papa's accident had happened. But by the time we reached there, people had taken him to the hospital. Only my father had an accident at that place. The scooter itself was lying there. But seeing the condition of that scooter, we were shaken badly. Because seeing its condition, it did not seem at all that anyone who had an accident with this scooter would be able to survive. But then when we reached the hospital where Papa had been taken, so as soon as we got there, the doctors told us that he had a severe head injury due to which we would have to do surgery with immediate effect. In such a situation, you people arrange the money as soon as possible. However, when it came to money, mom had deposited as much money as she wanted in the hospital. Because my father used to earn a lot of money. Because of this, there was never a problem of money in the house. But perhaps this thing was limited to that time. Because in the future, a lot of things were going to happen to us that we had never imagined. And when you know about the reason for all these things, then the ground will slip from under your feet. Actually, after Papa's surgery that day, at around 8 p.m., I told my mom that we go to Bua's house because Papa was in the ICU at that time and the doctors refused to meet him.
Along with this, the hospital in which we were at that time was near Bua's house. And let me tell you here that the distance between our house and Bua's house was about 25 to 30 kilometers. For this reason, Bua was a little closer to our house. But that night when my mom and I left the hospital to go to my aunt's house, we didn't call her and tell her that we were coming to her house. And that was probably the biggest mistake we made. Now I should call it a mistake or our good luck or because of what happened to us in the future, I consider it bad luck. I still don't understand that. But that night, as soon as we reached the door of Bua's house around 9 p.m., mom rang the doorbell after seeing the door closed. But even after ringing the doorbell for a long time, when no one opens the door, the mother starts knocking on the door. But while we were standing near his door, there was a strange smell coming from inside his house. And that smell was something like a havan or some kind of worship happening inside his house. But when mom knocks on the door a few more times, the door slowly opens. And as soon as the door opens, we see that the door was opened by none other than Buaji. But seeing us suddenly on the threshold of our house, Bua's facial expressions had changed. At that time, it seemed as if she was very nervous to see us suddenly coming there. Because as soon as she sees us, she starts speaking in a hurry. "Hey, what are you both doing here so late at night? This is a time to come." So as soon as he says this, the mother says to him in a very angry voice that why can't he come at this time? So seeing mummy angry in that way, then she does a little fake thing and says to us, "Hey, now you will do all the things standing above this door or even come in a little." Then when she says this, I and mom go inside her house. But when she was walking ahead of us after closing the door, it didn't look like she had fractured her leg a month ago because she was walking in a completely normal way. Now as soon as this thing happens, when we were going inside from their living area, suddenly Suhana Didi comes out from inside a room. But as soon as mummy and I saw him coming out of that room, we were shocked to see his appearance because at that time his hair was completely open and he was wearing a yellow dhoti like a man, and instead of a cloth on the top, he had covered his body with banana leaves. Now the girl who used to be very stylish at her home and who had never worn a suit other than a jeans top in her life, I and my mom could not understand anything after seeing that girl in that condition. But only when mom looks at Bua with a look like asking something, before mom can ask something with her mouth, even before that, the aunt herself tells the mother that she was doing a small puja in the house and sitting the virgin girl in that puja gives a lot of merit. For this reason, we made Suhana sit in that puja. Just now Bua was saying that, then Uncle Ji also came out of that room and Uncle Ji was also wearing exactly the same kind of dhoti that Suhana Didi was wearing, and he also covered his upper body with banana leaves just like Suhana Didi had covered. Now when Suhana Didi covered her body with banana leaves, we understood that she was a girl. And how old is a girl studying in class 10 and what kind of body is at that time, you can understand this very well. So it was necessary for him to cover his body. But why did uncle wrap those banana leaves on his body in that way? It didn't make sense to us at all.
But what was even more surprising was that the sister used to get very excited as soon as she saw me, and even after coming to that house a month ago, when she used to talk to me on video call, she used to share all the tiring things of the whole day with me as soon as she picked up my call in the evening, and a lot and laughed and talked to me. Today, despite seeing me and mummy, she stood in one place as if we were complete strangers to her. She didn't even look at us, let alone talk to us. Now when I see them ignoring us in this way, then I go to them by myself and go to them and hold their hand and shake them and say to them that, "Hey, Didi, what kind of costume are you wearing? And your sister is standing in front of you and you are not happy to see me at all." So after hearing this, she looks at me, but at that time there was a lot of rudeness on her face, as if she doesn't care about anything. At the same time, when I looked closely at his face, I could see black circles formed in a very round shape under his eyes, as if she hasn't slept for the past several nights. Along with this, there was a strange smell coming from his body. The smell was as if his whole body was coated with sandalwood, or he had applied a very strong perfume, because of which his body was smelling of a very intoxicating fragrance. But then, leaving all these things aside, when mom told Bua and uncle about Papa's accident, both of them are not shocked to hear that from our mouth. And on the contrary, we tell people that he is the number one addict. He must have drunk while riding the scooter. We have explained to him many times not to drink alcohol in this way and ride the scooter. One day this thing was bound to happen. Now let me tell you that my father used to drink a little, but he never drank during the day. Rather, before going to bed, he would make his own pack, drink it, and then sleep directly on his bed. He had never had a drink during the day or while riding a scooter. But Bua and uncle also knew that he drank. For this reason, many times when he used to come to our house earlier, he used to argue with Papa about this matter. But my father's work was very stressful. Because of this, they used to drink at bedtime. And neither me nor my mom had any objection to this, nor did Suhana Didi have any problem with this. In fact, Suhana Didi used to make her own packs for Papa many times. Because we don't see that thing as an addiction, but as a VIP family. And the way the whole family sits together and drinks while talking, in the same way, that thing was completely normal in our house too. However, it was not that we were atheists at all, or that we didn't worship. In fact, my father was a great devotee of Bholenath. He never used to eat breakfast in his life without offering water to Bholenath. But here I tell you a very surprising thing. Actually, on the day we were about to come to meet Suhana Didi, and when Papa had an accident in the market, something happened on that day due to which Papa had left the house after eating food without offering water to Bholenath for the first time in his life. And the reason behind this was that on the previous night, someone had died in Mishraji's house next to our house. So when someone died in the neighboring house and his funeral was also done in the morning of the same day, that is, the old mother of Mishraji who lived next to us died at night, and then the next morning she was cremated. So in such a situation, it is believed that you cannot do any worship to God on that day. Because Papa was also at his house since night, and by the time he returned home after performing the last rites of that grandmother, it was 2 to 2:30 in the afternoon. So when he was going to the market after eating, I asked him, Suhana Didi had talked about meeting her. And then after going to the market, she had an accident during that time. But we did not notice this thing, that how this small incident can help any other very terrible thing to show its effect. But that night when Buaji and Uncle Ji started taunting both of us about Papa, then Mom tells Bua that okay, we will take care of our house at our level. We helped you when you needed it, but today when we have a problem, you are not understanding it. Let me tell you here that mummies and aunts got along very little. For this reason, seeing the two of them talking in that way, I understood that maybe they could have a fight in a short time. That's why I tell them to leave these things and pack some food and go to the hospital with us, because Papa is in the ICU right there. But when I say this, my aunt tells us that we both can't go anywhere tonight. What you do is take food and go to the hospital yourself. Both of us will come in the morning, as we have done puja at our house today, and in such a situation we cannot go out of our house. If we go out of the house, the puja we do will not be meaningless. Now as soon as she said this, Mom starts looking at her in a very strange way. Because on one hand, his brother is lying in the hospital after an accident and he had to do his puja. For this reason, the mother gets very angry and she tells them that okay, if you do not want to walk, then it does not matter. But you send this Suhana out by changing her clothes quickly. I am taking Suhana because I sent Suhana here just to help you, that she will help you with the housework until your leg heals. But now that you are fine, I am taking it back. After saying this, the mother looks at Suhana and says, "Hey Suhana beta, change whatever you are wearing quickly and get out of here quickly with your luggage because your father is admitted in the hospital. He has had an accident." Now the mother had said this, but the surprising thing was that the daughter who used to sprinkle life for her father, today she was not budging even after hearing about her father's accident. In fact, she was just looking at a corner of the house, as if they don't care what their mom says. But then suddenly the aunt intervenes, "Hey, where are you talking about taking him? He is living in this house. You do this by keeping Priya with you at your house and I will keep Suhana at my house. Anyway, we don't have any children to entertain at home, and Suhana has been living here for the last 1 month, so the house seems full. We don't feel the emptiness at all as we did when she wasn't here." Now when Bua said this, Mummy got very angry and she said a lot of nonsense to Bua in the same anger. Now no matter what she said to Bua, she had said one thing very wrong in anger at that time, and perhaps that thing had hit Bua's heart. Actually, the mother had told the aunt that if she wants to keep her house so full of children, then why not give birth herself? How long will you keep other people's children at home in this way? Now as soon as mom said this, I quickly grabbed her hand and then signaled her to be quiet with my eyes. Because even though I was studying only in the 10th class at that time, what can be the controversy among the family members, I understood it very well. That's why when I hold my mom's hand, she calms down a bit. But then she forcibly takes Suhana Didi towards a room from there. And after a while, after changing their clothes, they start going out with their luggage bag. And while leaving, she also calls out to me and says very angrily, "Will you stand here now? If I don't want to walk in the hospital?" Now as soon as my mom says this, I also start following her. But then suddenly the aunt starts laughing very loudly from behind and then tells the mother that you are taking your daughter from here, but it should not happen that after a few days you yourself come to leave her here and beg me with folded hands to keep her with you. Now when Bua said this, along with Mummy, I also found it very strange why she is saying this. But at that time, Mummy was so angry that she does not stop there even for 1 minute and leaves with both of us sisters. Then as soon as we left Bua's house, Didi was sitting very quietly even after leaving there. And even when we were in the hospital, she was neither talking to us nor asking us anything about Papa. At first, we both felt that maybe she had not slept for several days or that the aunt had made her do too much work. This reason they have become this condition. But then the mother had also got her checkup done in the same hospital. But after the checkup, the doctor had said that due to not sleeping for a long time, her mind has become such that when she will sleep for 2 to 4 days and her sleep is fulfilled, then she will be normal as before. That's why we both don't get so stressed about that. But then there was a big temple in the corner on the outside of the campus of that hospital, where all the people used to go to their patients and pray that God will heal them quickly. That's why mom tells me that let's go there for your dad and pray that God heals him quickly. But as soon as mom and I get up and leave, Didi is sitting in the same place. But when we both realized that she was not coming with us, then the mother turns around and says to them, "Hey Suhana, why are you sitting here? Come on, you also come to the temple with us." So she looks at her mom and shakes her neck. But then when the mother herself grabs her hand and starts dragging her towards the temple, she forcibly starts releasing her hand from the mother. But when the mother did not let go of her hand even after pulling her hand many times, then she pulled her hand back with a very sharp jerk and said to the mother in a very strange voice, "Do you not hear that I don't know? Then why are you forcibly taking me there?" Now as soon as Suhana Didi said this, Mummy and I turn around and look at her. Because at that time, that voice was not Suhana Didi, but that voice was like that of a man and a very heavy and graceful voice. Hearing that voice, as soon as mom turned around and looked at them, mom asked them what they were saying. Suhana Didi brings her neck near her face in a very strange way and tells her in the same heavy and manly voice that I have told you that I will not go to any temple. If you want to go, go alone and take this other daughter with you. but I am not going anywhere." Now when Suhana Didi spoke that way again in front of our eyes in that voice, my mom and I get absolutely terrified. Then for a moment I thought that maybe Didi was mimicking in some other voice. That's why I tell them that, "Oh wow Didi, you talk very well with a change of voice." But then she looks at me in a very strange and angry way and then starts laughing in a very horrible and strange way. Even at the time she was laughing, her voice was not her own voice, but she was laughing loudly in a loud voice. At that time, seeing him laughing in that way, the rest of the people present in that corridor of the hospital also started looking at him. For this reason, in a very nervous voice, the mother tells them that there is no need to create any scene here. I am already very tensed due to your father's accident, and now that you are doing all this on top of that, I do not understand at all what is happening at the moment. So as soon as Mummy says this, Suhana Didi tells her that you will not understand anything further, and by the time you understand, it will be too late and you would have taken a lot away from you. You have made a big mistake by taking enmity with him, and today you have healed that wound again. After saying this, she started staring at her mother in a very strange and angry way. Now what happened to us next, and how all those things happened to Suhana Didi, and how our whole family was in the mouth of death, you will know in the next part of this story, because this story is very long. Because of this, I could not bring it to one part.
So friends, this was our story today. How did you like the story? Please do tell me by commenting in the comment box. And also, those who haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourself and your family. I will meet you soon with a new story. Thank you.